The South Florida real estate market is about to crash and burn. It's over. Well, that's what a lot of people want me to get on here and say, but in reality, is it really? Let's kind of take a look. I know people have been saying forever, the real estate market's gonna crash, it's gonna crash, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, if you say it enough times, eventually you could be right. But let's kind of look at the facts and kind of some of the statistics across South Florida to kind of see what's going on. So we're gonna look across all three counties, Miami-Dade, Broward, as well as Palm Beach, and kind of get an idea of what's going on. I mean, obviously it can't go up forever. I 100% agree with that, but let's see what's going on. Let's see if a crash is possible or kind of where we're headed here in the future. So we'll talk about that, and then also what I think is gonna happen moving forward. Okay, so let's start at the bottom. Let's start off with Miami-Dade County, and let's kind of take a look at where we are as a market. So we'll break it up into both the single family market as well as the condos and townhomes market, and then we'll look a little bit of like what's coming on the market in terms of investment properties. So first off, let's look at single family here in Miami-Dade. So from January 2023 to January 2024, we had an 8.6% increase in closed sales. So the sales volume is up, as well as a number of cash sales, and I'll show this on the screen as well. And on top of that, one of the most interesting points is that the median sales price is also up. So in January of 2023, a median sales price for single family was $545,000. While in January of 2024, it's $630,000 for an increase of 15.6%. So that's pretty impressive. And when you look at the average sales price, obviously it's a little bit higher. So January 2023, $993,063. January 2024, $1.2 million. And the median days to contract is also less. So yes, we went through a little bit of a rough patch, but it's still selling quicker and prices are still rising. With all that being said though, we are having an increase in supply, which is good because an equilibrium is about 6 months of supply. That's neither a buyer's market nor a seller's market. So right now we've increased from 4 months of supply to about 4.5 months of supply for single family homes. Now, when it comes to condos and townhomes, we have less closed sales, but because there's kind of some issues going on with condos that I feel like kind of skews it compared to single family homes. Median sales price isn't up that much either, $400,000 versus about $405,000. With all of that being said, we do have a ton more inventory, and it's definitely turning more towards a buyer's market in Miami-Dade for both condos and townhomes. Last year, we were about 4.5 months of inventory. Right now, in January 2024, we're at about 7.5 months of inventory. So if you're looking for a deal on a condo or a townhome, you could probably find it as a buyer. However, on a single family, it could be a little bit trickier. So now let's kind of look at what's coming to the market and where we're kind of at right now today. So we'll start off with the single family here in Miami-Dade. So we have 364 new listings hit the market. 68 came back on the market, while 262 had a price decrease. And I think you'll see as we kind of go through all the data, a lot of homes are having price decreases because I think a lot of them were asking just astronomical prices, and we're still kind of stuck in those like booming times of like the 2021 to 2022, 2023, where like you could put a box on the market and pretty much get $800,000 cash tomorrow. Those times are starting to change a little bit. We do have some that have gone under contract, but 157 have gone under contract and 175 have closed. So, and you know, the single family market's still pretty solid here in Miami. Now, let's kind of look at the condo market. 586 new condos and townhomes came on the market. 106 came back on the market, while 495 of those had a price decrease. Like I was telling you, a lot of things have been overpriced, but the issue with condos and townhomes really relates to assessments and HOA fees. And they're just asking way too much money. While closed sales aren't nearly that equivalent, and that kind of makes sense since we have a ton of inventory, only 215 closed sales within the last 7 days. Now, let's talk about the multifamily market here in Miami-Dade County. Not a ton of multifamily hitting the market. They're also asking some crazy prices on multifamily, but don't even get me started on that. Right now, 22 new listings hit the market in the last 7 days. 11 came back on the market. 16 had a price decrease, while we only had 15 sell. Honestly, some of the cap rates I've seen on them aren't the best. However, there still are deals to be found, and there is negotiations to happen with the multifamily market. Okay, let's just keep moving on north. Now let's talk about Broward County. So let's look at the single family market right now for Broward County. We have a little bit of an increase in closed sales from January to January, 677 to 707. While the median sales price didn't increase that much compared to that in Miami, went from $540,000 to $575,000 for about a 6.5% increase year over year. Median times to sale and median time to contract is relatively similar. 40 days in January of 2023 to 38 days in January 2024. And we are starting to see an uptick in single family inventory going from about 3 months supply about a year ago to almost 4 months supply today. So we are starting to increase and almost get back to that equilibrium point. When it comes to the condos and townhomes here in Broward County, kind of similar to that of Miami with the issues that are going on with condos and things. So we do have a decrease in the amount of closed sales. We went from 875 to 855, but we do have an increase in the median sales price going from about $269,900 to about $275,000. The big difference is the median time to contract. About a year ago, we were at 28 days. Today, we're at 42 days. So it's taken almost double the amount of time to sell the same condos and townhomes. On top of that, we're at double the amount of inventory, literally double. So we went from about 3.1 months of supply to 6.2 months of supply. So as you can kind of start seeing a trend, prices are going to start leveling off and maybe find some deals, and definitely find some deals and a little bit more negotiating power with condos and townhomes versus that of single family. But now let's kind of look at where we're at in Broward County in terms of like what's in the market, where we headed today, right this second. So obviously we'll start off with the single family. We had 404 new listings hit the market, 97 came back on the market, 421 had a price decrease. So very similar to that of Miami. Some of these homes are just overpriced and they're starting to come down in price. Like we said, can't keep going up forever, but it's not necessarily a crash at the same time. With all that being said, in the last 7 days, we had 211 closed sales with 202 go pending. Now, when it comes to condos, we had 632 hit the market with 676 had a price decrease. Obviously, they might be asking a little bit too much, but that's good for the buyer at the same time, and being realistic with the seller and kind of letting them know like, hey, yes, some people might have got this a while ago, but with everything going on, you know, you just got to be upfront and honest and let them know exactly what it's worth. With all that being said, only 200 went pending, and we only had 248 sell in the last 7 days. But that's, like I'm saying, if you're looking for a deal, condos and townhomes in South Florida might be the best bet for you. Then it's just being able to overcome and afford the assessments plus the HOA dues. Now, when it comes to investment properties and multifamily in Broward County, we only had 24 new ones hit the market. 2 came back on the market. 17 of them had a price decrease. So as you can see, they're still overpriced as well. And only 11 sold while 11 went pending. So it's still pretty solid for the investment properties and multifamily. It's just finding those deals where they cash flow, where they make sense for you and your investing strategy. And last but not least, let's talk about Palm Beach County. So Palm Beach County, like the rest of them, we'll start with the single family. They had an increase in the amount of closed sales year over year from 794 to 811. We also had an increase in the median sales price from $582,500 to $615,000. But median time to contract, median days, stayed about the same, 41 days a year ago to about 38 days today. And we did have a slight uptick in inventory, nothing drastic. We went from about 3.5 months of inventory to just a little over 4 months worth of inventory for single family homes. So as you can see, still a pretty solid market overall for single family homes. Now let's look at the condos and townhomes. Condo sales and townhome sales down. So they went from 694 transactions to 633. However, median sales price is still up. So we went from $299,000 to about $325,000. With that being said, median time to contract did increase a little bit, just slightly. We went from 30 days on average, or on median time, to about 35 days. With all that being said though, huge uptick in inventory for condos and townhomes, which we're seeing consistently across all 3 counties. Went from 3.5 months of supply to about 5.8 months of supply. So we're pretty much right there at equilibrium for condos and townhomes. Same kind of issues in Palm Beach County that Broward and Miami-Dade are having. Assessments, HOAs, dealing with the 40-year recertification, like all that. That's why there's some deals to be found with some of these condos and townhomes. Now, don't get me wrong. I know I've been saying there still are a lot of buildings where the assessments have been paid. They don't owe anything. There hasn't been a huge uptick for their HOA fee. But in the general sense of it, a lot of them do. Okay, so now let's look at where we are the last couple days with here in the Palm Beach County market. So over the last 7 days, for single family homes, we had about 424 come new on the market. 486 saw a price decrease, so still that consistent theme of maybe a little bit overpriced. We had 227 closed while 171 went pending. Now when it comes to the condo market, we had 531 new listings hit the market over the last 7 days, while 746 had a price decrease. So again, still consistent with the other markets. Some of these condos and townhomes are struggling a little bit to get sold. There could be a deal there, I'm just saying. 182 went pending while 232 sold. Now, when it comes to the multifamily in Palm Beach County, I will say, like, when you're looking at multifamily and investment properties in Palm Beach County, most of them, like when you're looking at it for the most part, are a lot more affordable than that of the ones in Broward and Miami-Dade. I will say when you're looking at them, most of the ones in Miami-Dade are usually more expensive, and this all varies, but for the most part, a lot of the ones in Miami-Dade are a little bit more expensive than Broward, and then there's some deals in Palm Beach County. However, I will say the rents are definitely less in Palm Beach County than they could be in both Miami-Dade as well as Broward. So with all that being said, 16 new investment properties hit the market, or multifamily properties hit the market. 6 of them had a price decrease, while 2 went pending, and we only had 4 sell. So definitely a little bit slower of a market there for investment properties, but still all right around each other. So as you can see, all 3 markets are doing pretty similar, and they're all doing like exactly the same thing for the most part. So single family homes are still a good buy. Home prices are increasing. Median time on the market's still right around the same time. However, with condos and townhomes, it's getting a little bit more difficult to get those sold, and there could be some deals here and there. Overall, like I was saying, what I think we're going to do moving forward, I don't think prices can go up forever. As we start getting more and more inventory on the market and we start getting back to that equilibrium point, I think prices will flatline, or not necessarily flatline, just flatten out a little bit. However, I don't think we're going to crash. Will some parts dip a little, like the condos and townhomes? Yes, but as we deal with some of these issues with assessments and the HOAs, they'll go back to a little bit more normality, because right now it just doesn't make sense for some people, as they are either sitting vacant or an investment property. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think the South Florida market's going to do moving forward over the next year or two? With that being said, if you're looking to buy, sell, or even invest anywhere here in South Florida or Florida in general, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Put my contact information down below.